Hey, good morning, Squirrel Tribe. So this morning I woke up to some pretty concerning news, devastating news for some, concerning for others. You guys may remember maybe 3 weeks ago, let me see if I have a date on here. Maybe 3 weeks ago, we talked about this massive fire that broke out where I live at a restaurant on the harbor here in Okaloosa County, in Destin specifically. This massive fire at this place called Tailfins. It's a very, very popular restaurant, and this thing went up in flames. They had fire engines from all over, from Walton County, Okaloosa County, and other smaller divisions were there to help put out this fire because it was huge. Like I said, I've got pictures here to show you guys if I can get them to come up. Well, they're not really the best. You guys can see there's a bunch of different pictures of the black smoke. And again, when this happened, my very first thought was, East Palestine, Ohio, the Norfolk Southern train derailment. It looked like that massive plume of smoke. Well, this morning I wake up, and the first thing I generally do when I wake up is I jump on my phone and I check to see what's going on in my local community, because obviously you want to know what's happening where you live before any place else, right? So I wake up, I'm still in bed, eyes don't work, contacts aren't in, none of that stuff. I'm still kind of in that. I've got contacts now, but I've done nothing here, so it is what it is. But I wake up and I pick up my phone and I start looking and I jump on Facebook because it's one of the best places to go for me to get local news, right? I follow a bunch of local Facebook pages, and I see that this morning from our Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office, there was another massive fire on the harbor. That is very concerning to me. We have been here for 2 years. Only 2 years we've lived here, but we used to visit this area for the last over a decade since our daughter was, I think, 2. But we visited, my husband and I visited Kevin. We visited here before we ever got married or had a kid or anything else like that. So we've been coming here forever. I used to come here when I was little with my mom and friends. And I don't remember there being these massive fires, especially in the harbor, right? And so to have 2 of them in the span of all of 3 weeks to 4 weeks is very concerning to me, because you have to look at things right now from a different perspective. You can't look at it and go, oh, well, somebody maybe messed up. Because if originally they said that, the fire started in the kitchen at Tailfins. Okay, that makes sense. Maybe a kitchen fire happened. A cook did something wrong. Who knows? They still haven't finished the investigation there. Now, this new one, it's at a place called Blue Maho. It's a newer restaurant. It's only been open for, I don't even know, maybe 6 or 7 months. It's a newer place, a brunch spot that everybody loves to go to. It's very nice, higher upscale inside. Outside, it's still the same old building that's always been there, but inside it's a very nice place, right? We had not gone yet. We had planned on going sometime in the near future. Well, now I don't know if that's going to be an option. But when you have these things catch fire, right, you have to sit there and think, well, was it due to human error? Is it due to some sort of electrical fire or something like that? Or what exactly happened? But now you also have to take into consideration, and I'm not saying this is the case. I have no proof of this. This is just my thought process and the way my brain works. If you've been here before, I am a cynical optimist, or I'm optimistically cynical. It's one of the two, depending on the day, how you want to look at it. But you have a lot of businesses right now who are struggling to pay their bills, who are struggling to find people who will work. And so when I see these things happening, I'm like, is it was it natural or was it not natural? That's the only way I'm going to say it. I don't want to say intentional or anything like that, but you have to start to wonder over time, like, are these things happening because of natural occurrence, whether it's, a lightning strike or, like I said, an electrical issue or some human error, or is it a purposeful thing because people are like, listen, we have insurance and we've got to do something. We can't afford this anymore. I don't think that is what has happened here, but this is just the irony of 2 places within literally an 1/8 of a mile of each other going up in flames within 3 to 4 weeks on the harbor, where the real estate is prime real estate and where everything over there costs so much money to rent, to lease, to own, to, keep up and everything else. Your brain has to start looking at things going, this is ironic, or this is, whatever. But there's going to be so many places out there that are going to have issues because of where the economy is at right now. And some people will say the economy is great. Some people will say the economy is the biggest dumpster fire you've ever seen in your life. And it will depend per person on how the economy is. For some people, the economy is absolutely amazing. For others, it's the worst it has ever been. We can't look at the economy as a whole because it's not really, in my personal opinion, a whole thing, because everybody is affected differently by the economy. So until everybody is affected the exact same way, I can't say the economy is great and I can't say the economy is trash. It just depends. For a lot of businesses, the economy is amazing because they have customers coming in all day long, spending money. Maybe their rent is good for where they are or whatever else. Then you have other places where the economy is going to be trash because they can't get employees. People aren't coming in. The rent is too high. Property insurance is going up. Workers' comp is going up. All these different things. And so for them, the economy is absolute trash. But seeing this fire first thing this morning, my very first thought was, because of who I am and how I think and what we talk about here and everything else, my very first thought was, that's convenient. I am not at all saying that is what happened here. I'm just saying that that is where my brain immediately goes, given the fact that we look at things a little differently over here at SquirrelTribe. So for the people who own Blue Maho, they say the fire started overnight, because when I woke up, according to this, let's see, this was 3 hours ago. They updated it at 7 a.m. But at 3 hours ago, they said all lanes of Harbor Boulevard and Destin closed between Palmetto and Melvin due to a structure fire. Multiple agencies are on scene of a structure fire at Blue Maho at 300 Harbor Boulevard in Destin. All lanes of Harbor Boulevard are currently closed between Palmetto and Melvin. Traffic is being detoured onto Mountain Drive. No one was inside the building at the time of the fire. The fire marshal is working the investigation. So there's nobody in there. This is a fire that started in the dead of night, obviously, and they're still trying to figure out exactly what has happened. And again, just like with tail fins, it's going to take a while to figure out what happened there. But when you have these issues, the insurance company is going to take their ever-loving time to pay out because they want to hold on to their money as long as possible. But now you have another situation of more people out of work, more companies affected by this, because now you're not getting deliveries. So the people who supplied those deliveries, now they're not making the same money. They don't get to employ the same amount of people or whatever else. The people who work there now have to go find a new job. When Tail Fins had its fire, the local community came together, which I absolutely loved. Local community came together and all the businesses here said, hey, listen, we will hold interviews for any position that the Tail Fins server or employees need. We will hire from Tail Fins before we'll hire anybody else. And I personally thought that was great, that although this is a touristy area, it's still a community at the end of the day. It's a small community at the end of the day, because the tourists, they come, they go. The locals, though, you know, we keep this place going. So when Tail Fins went up in flames and everybody around here like Lulu's and Bitterroot and AJ's and Dewey Destin and all these other places were posting all over Facebook, hey, listen, we're going to have open interviews this day from this time to this time. We want Tail Fins employees to come in. We'll find a way to make it work, because they wanted to make sure that the people of the community still had means to survive, to make money so they could pay their rent or their mortgage, pay their insurance, pay for food, things like that. Blue Maho, it's going to be the same thing. Now you're going to have more people out of a job trying to find a job. The closer you get to the start of summer, the harder it is to find a job in touristy locations, because they do fill up faster, because people know that this time of year is where the money is. If you happen to be a bartender, a server, anything in the service industry, right now is when you make a killing. Now and over the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas will be the busiest and most profitable times for not only the employees, but also the businesses. So for Tail Fins to be out right when summer is starting, now Blue Maho to be out right when summer is starting, that is going to be detrimental to both of them. The odds that they will survive an entire summer with being out of business, very, very small. Tail Fins may be able to come back because they've been a Harbor Boulevard, a harbor staple for very, very many years. Blue Maho is brand new. I don't know if they'll be able to come back and make it from this, or if they're going to have to sell their portion of the building, the land right there, which again, conspiracy person or cynical person, my brain goes, maybe that was the whole point. Maybe somebody in the middle of the night said, I really wanted that spot and I didn't get it. What's the easiest way to get it? You know, you just never know. It is horrible either way that this has happened to another local business in such a short span of time and so close to the last fire, which is the only reason why my brain is like, this is fishy. No pun intended, it being in the harbor and, you know, whatever else. But these kind of things, they affect so many people. And I think a lot of people don't realize when they see one thing happen here, they're like, oh, it's not a big deal, it doesn't affect me. Well, it might not affect you, but if it affects the community, it could trickle down to you, because now there's less places for the tourists to go, okay, which means that everywhere else is going to have longer lines, which also means that maybe some of those mom and pop spots that the locals don't like to tell the tourists about are going to be figured out, and they're going to be overrun, and now the locals nowhere to go because it's going to be so busy everywhere else. It's one of those things, you never want to wake up to devastating news like that for anybody. You never want to see somebody lose their livelihood because of a fire or anything else. So hopefully Bloomahoe here in Destin can get this figured out, worked out, and back up and running soon. Just not great news to wake up to. So pay attention to things going on in your community. Help out as much as you can in any way that you can, because at the end of the day, sometimes your community is all you have to lean on if something happens. You know, not everybody has family, not everybody has friends, but a lot of times communities will step up for the people in their community. So that is all I've got for right now. I've got way more to bring you later. I just want to talk to you guys about this quickly because, you know, it's a big deal, whether it's realized or not at the time of happening. It is a big deal. So SquirrelTribe, I love y'all. I'll see you again later. Bye.